Hello everyone, welcome to the Hampton Law Firm. I'm Jeff Hampton with the Hampton Law Firm, and I wanted to jump on here and talk to you about a subject today. What if I've been arrested for DWI and my license has been suspended? Is there a chance I can still drive? All right, thanks for joining us here today. I want to go over with you the ins and outs of DWI license suspension and the exact steps you can take. Write down the list of what's required in order to be able to get your license back, what you can do to be able to still operate a vehicle in spite of a DWI situation that you might be going through. And maybe you're going through this and you've been arrested and you say, wait a minute, I have no idea if my license is suspended or not. How does all this work? Am I eligible to get my license back at all? What are those requirements? That's what we're going to cover here today in this video. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll also give you a free resource, the ultimate guide to DWI defense in Texas. All right, let's jump right in. What happens if my license is suspended because of a DWI arrest? Can I still drive? The simple answer is yes, you still can. Now, before we get to that, to the specifics about that, let's first ask the question: if you've been arrested for a DWI, do you even know for sure if your license has been suspended? Because remember, if you've been arrested for a DWI in Texas, your license is not automatically suspended. You have 15 days from the date of your arrest to request a license hearing in order to fight that license hearing, okay? Now, what if you miss the deadline? What if it's beyond the 15 days? Well, even then, your license is not completely suspended yet because it doesn't go into effect until 40 days after the date of your arrest. But let's assume you're at the 40th day. What if you receive a notice from DPS? Your license has now been suspended. What can you do? You need to obtain an occupational driver's license. Now, at first glance, people say, what is that? An occupational driver's license, does that mean I can only drive to work and back, or for groceries or anything? No, it's more than that. Even though it sounds like it's just an essential needs license, you technically should be able to still drive like you have in the past. How can you begin to even live in Texas without a license and without an actual vehicle to get around, right? So the question is not whether or not you can drive. What are the requirements of an occupational driver's license? Number one, you must first obtain SR22 insurance. SR22 insurance. Now, what is that? It's a it's a form of high-risk insurance that is required if your license has been suspended as a result of a DWI. Now, that's the first requirement, and I want you to understand, let's give some advice here. All you need to do is type into Google, or however you want to search, SR22 insurance in Texas. That's all you got to do. SR22 insurance in Texas. Find the cheapest provider you can find. That's all you need to do. Because after you have done that, if you call, I'm going to give you some advice. Don't call your current provider. If you call your current provider right now, let's say you're working with State Farm or your Nationwide Insurance or whatever it is. If you call them, you are basically tipping them off that you have picked up a DWI. And now what's going to happen? Your license is going to be, now it's not even about your license, it's about your insurance. You're not going to be able to get insurance, they're going to cut you off, or they're going to raise your rates. So whatever you do, don't tell your current insurance provider. Find the cheapest insurance provider that you can and go that direction. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is optional. It depends. You may be required to get an ignition interlock device in your vehicle as a condition of the occupational driver's license, okay? So that's optional. Usually the court will let you know a little bit about that, or it'll be placed upon you as a condition of that occupational driver's license by a judge. But that's an optional number two. Number three, you must then file for a petition for occupational driver's license. Now, if you're in the Tarrant County area, the filing fee for Tarrant County is $275, okay? Every county is a little different, the fees can vary, but unfortunately, everyone has to pay that filing fee of $275. Now, was your license suspended? Now, here's the question. Now, I know there are some variations to that. Some people may say, well, can I file it through a municipal court? Yes, you can, and sometimes there can be a cheaper fee for that. You just want to make sure that's handled correctly, okay? Now, when people ask, they say, okay, so how does this work? I want you to promise me that you tell me the exact steps in order to file it. Okay, Here's the question. Number one, was your license suspended because of a DWI arrest and your case is not completed yet? Okay? If your license was suspended because of an administrative license revocation hearing, then here's your process. I want to lay it out for you. You must file it through the county court at law in your county in Texas. And in my situation, that would be Tarrant County. You have to file it through that. Now, here's the thing. If you don't have the money to afford being able to go through that process, I will give you one way to get around that. You can go to the Tarrant County Law Library, and they actually sell a packet for an occupational driver's license that you can get. I think it's $5 or $10. It's a form template. It gives you all the information. But then after you do that, what will happen is you'll file it. You'll have to go to the hearing in front of the judge. The judge will then put some conditions upon you about what you're going to have to do while you're on that license. Now, what are those conditions? I'm not going to tell you it's fair, but even on first-time DWIs, sometimes the judge can make you go to AA classes, Alcoholics Anonymous classes. They can do it anywhere between once a month all the way up to 4 times a month, depending upon your scenario. They can also make you have an ignition interlock device as a condition of your occupational driver's license. So sometimes there can be some additional conditions that the judge will thrust upon you based upon the answers to some of the questions that you might give them, okay? So now, scenario number 2. Maybe your license was suspended after a DWI conviction. If that's the case, you must now file the petition for an occupational driver's license through the criminal court you took your plea in. Okay? It must be through the criminal court you took your plea in. Now, it'll also require you to get a copy of your driving record, all right? In order to get a copy of that driving record, your attorney can either help you get that taken care of, or you can order it through the Texas Department of Public Safety's website for, I think it's around $22, somewhere around there. But you can order that, and you'll take a copy of your driving record, SR22 insurance, and what you would do is you would go to that prosecutor with the paperwork and ask for them to waive the hearing, and then the judge can sign off on the order allowing you at that point to have an occupational driver's license. Now, after all of that's done, you will then have to send a copy of all the paperwork, the signed order, to DPS, to the Texas Department of Public Safety, and you'll have to pay a $125 reinstatement fee, and then DPS will send you an actual brown card that says your occupational driver's license. Well, I'll tell you what, that's a lot to go through. Normally, I always recommend to people, if you need help with that, definitely give us a call. You can speak to an attorney. It's important that you get this done the right way so that you're able to continue to drive. Now, if you're facing a DWI charge, or maybe you've got questions about your driver's license and whether or not you're eligible for this situation, don't hesitate to give us a call if you're in the Metroplex at 817, at the Hampton Law Firm at 817-877-5200. Maybe you have a question about some other issue related to a DWI. Don't hesitate to call us. Now, I hope you've enjoyed what you've heard here today. If so, I encourage you to share this video with someone else, like the video on YouTube, or subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great content just like this. I look forward to seeing you on our next video, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks.